after Valentine, news spread like wildfire that Colin Kaepernick has settled his grievance with the NFL, which he accused of colluding to keep him off of a team. Now, for those that don't know, what happened was during 2016, Colin Kaepernick started protesting police shootings of black men by kneeling during the Star-Spangled Banner. From there was a whole bunch of debates over race, activism, and free expression, and whether it was okay or not okay to protest during the games. Now, he started by protesting by sitting down during the Star-Spangled Banner, met with someone that was in the armed forces. They had a private conversation, and from there, their mutual agreement was that he would kneel. Kneeling is still showing respect, but still making a stance. Because what had happened was there was a whole bunch of police shootings that were happening, and everyone was getting acquitted, and it was becoming wildfire. We saw them physically being recorded. We went through the whole trial process, all to be disappointed. Now, there's a lot more focus on Colin Kaepernick because he started this movement. This movement was in his idea, in his head, and different players, both in the NFL and outside of the NFL, a lot were in the NBA. The WNBA started protesting, and then people all over. High school kids were doing it. It just kind of spread, and people, myself included, didn't know that Mr. Kaepernick and his former teammates Eric Reed were doing the legal settlement together. So what happened is they reached a settlement, and that happened Friday afternoon, February 15th, 2019. And what is said is that the league and the players have said that the parties have decided to resolve their pending grievances and there would be no further comment. So what does that mean? That means that they were set to go to trial within 45 days. And if they were going to go to trial, because it's a public record like everything else, there would have been so much dirty laundry within the NFL. It was better on the NFL's part as a business decision to go ahead and pay them out so that they could keep a lot of what they were doing, their racist banter, their racist emails were going to come out, as well as people overhearing conversations, secret meetings, all that was going to come out. And it was better for them not to have any of that shown. But know that because they settled that they definitely were guilty, there was definitely colluding, definitely blackballing, and they wanted to use him as a lesson. Hey, you're not gonna sit here and talk about black issues even though this sport is run by, and the players are majority black, but we're still majority white ownerships, majority white quarterbacks, and we're not gonna have someone like you come in and act like you deserve to use your platform for your people. That's ultimately what happened. Now, I'm going to get into what my really, really great friend, I met him when I was living in Orlando, and we have stayed friends, particularly on the platform Facebook. And he is just an amazing lawyer, amazing wordsmith. And so I'm going to read to you what he posted about this entire situation. So without further ado, I'm going to show you Kamara Williams' post. So he states, 2 years ago, I started my boycotting of the NFL because of their treatment for two of their players, Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick, who simply decided to use their platform to voice concerns for social issues that concern them. I was appalled that the league conspired to blackball and ostracize players who didn't conform to some unfounded rule surrounding decorum and respect. This was not about their respective abilities or off-their-field issues or lack thereof. This was about control and sending a message. You heard everything from he's a washed-up player to distraction to the locker room, or my personal favorite, choose a different platform to voice your message. All of these were straw man arguments used to justify a billion-dollar league silencing its players and spitting in the face of what they stood for. I was disgusted and I couldn't support something like that, at least not until those players received what was rightfully theirs. The league sought to kill their voice, their career, and ultimately their ability to earn money. The activist in me saw injustice, but the attorney in me saw a clear-cut, collusive employment labor violation, especially since the league consistently turns a blind eye, or better yet, moves the goalpost, pun intended, when signing players with questionable off-the-field issues, uttering, "Player A deserves a second chance." It was disgusting. Yesterday, Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reid settled their case with the NFL for an undisclosed amount. I have heard rumors of what the amount is, and it's astronomical. The rumors are it's potentially between $60 and $80 million that they settled. Coincidentally, or maybe not, Steve Harvey caught heat for publicly admitting that one must sacrifice their integrity in order to succeed financially. The universe offers no mistakes. I have seen some deride the settlement as Colin and Eric selling out the cause because they didn't take the NFL all the way to court and air their dirty laundry. I would say that assessment is both short-sighted and misguided. It would be one thing if both players were suing for equal rights or some social cause in front of the Supreme Court, such as Cassius Clay versus the United States, but they weren't. This was a civil suit for damages related to being blackballed from the league. The conversation around why they were blackballed is secondary to what this case was about. Furthermost, lest we forget, Kaepernick was using his own money to fund scholarships, his personal community programs, and youth camps. Money didn't motivate his activism, it enhanced it. Lastly, on this point, although I have not read the sealed settlement agreements, I am sure there is language prohibiting Kaepernick from mentioning the NFL in its collusion efforts. They legally cannot stop him from speaking on social causes that still matter to him. That's the difference. The league bought his silence to not air their dirty laundry, not his silence in perpetuity to social issues. No agreement can cool your constitutional right, or else it would risk being deemed invalid. As far as I'm concerned, both Colin and Eric won. They beat an entity who for years used its influence and power to operate above reproach and questioning. Trust me when I tell you that a settlement doesn't occur unless the party has a real fear of losing the case. As for me, my boycott may be over, but I honestly have lost interest in watching football. After 2 years of not incorporating that into my life, I often found myself forgetting there was even a game on to boycott in the first place. The passion for the NFL may have once been a part of me, but now I treat it as a former relationship that yes, I may have fond memories of, but I also understand it no longer fits the pattern of my life. I simply fill my Sunday afternoons with other activities, namely my girls. As far as anyone else challenging Kaepernick, let's keep it real. Y'all couldn't even boycott one season of football, but you expect him not to secure an 8 to 9 figure bag? For what? So he could prove his integrity to you? Nah, that is not how the game works. You never win impressing people who never believed or respected you in the first place. That's hustling backwards. Don't let the Steve Harveys of the world tell you that Colin Kaepernick is a sellout. A jellyfish cannot be an expert on backbones. The message I hope it sends to the players is that if you stand for something, the universe will arc you in the favor eventually. You need to maintain your integrity while the world catches up to your leadership. So in recap, the NFL paid Cap, and Nike paid Cap. He did all of this without breaking one sweat or getting his head knocked in. Sounds like a pretty good finesse to me. So there's really nothing else for me to say. He said this perfectly. I'm going to drop mic. Please leave in the comments below. How do you feel about the settlement? How do you feel about integrity? How do you feel about Steve Harvey and Monique, and how Steve Harvey said that sometimes integrity is not the first and foremost and you have to go to secure the bag, and then not even a week later, Kaepernick wins a large settlement that sets him up for the rest of his life and the next generations to come. And he's just getting started. He still has his agreement with Nike. He can act, he can there's so many other platforms. He's such a young dude and a nice, good-looking dude. He's just getting started. So leave your comments below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.